Hello everyone! It is a Wednesday the 24th and I've lost track of what day it is. Let me see for the 100-day challenge. What's today? Today's Wednesday, 53, day 53. So all morning I have been sitting here working on the little journal for the box. I got a lot of it done, but I started making some tags and things, and I thought, oh, I would just bring you along. I wanted to do this, but then there's another project also I want to try to do in the same video, depending on time. But anyway, it's more or less a craft along, not really a tutorial, at least I wouldn't think so. Unless you're very new to the craft world, then it could quite possibly be. But I want to make a few tags. I am going to use fabric and paper. And it's going to be a, oh, what do you call them? It'll come to me. My brain is gone. My brain is gone. But anyway, I wanted to start a few of these, and I just thought I would bring you along. And then after I get this completed, then time allowing, I want to do something different. Add another element, I guess. Another little item, ephemera item. Excuse me, I was just getting a drink of coffee, not a cup of coffee. So I hope everyone is doing well. It's a little bit chilly outside yet, and for some reason it seems like as it starts warming up outside, the inside of our house gets colder. So I'm freezing, but it's supposed to be like in the 60s, low 60s I think, but nonetheless, I feel, my husband said, you're the only person I know that puts a sweater on when it's 60 degrees out after the winter we've had. Like, well, I'm cold. I'm going to do what I got to do. So I'm going to just start here. I had printed this on linen. I also printed this on linen at the beginning of this project. So I still have those. I have a scrap of some fabric that I had printed on linen. This was a piece from the journal cover that was cut off. So I have that. I have a few just miscellaneous pieces from when I made the journal, plus I've added some other little laces and things here. And I have a variety of paper. I've already cut out a book page. It's just a single, has not been doubled, because once I do my actual tag, I'm going to call it a tag topper. It's going to be attached to this, it's actually a manila file folder that I cut down. So that's how I'm going to proceed. And let me make sure. Let's start. I'm going to try to make sure I don't run out of video here. Alright, so I'm going to start. I think I want to use some of this fabric. If you hear that noise in the background, that would be my little dog making her bed more comfortable. Let's see, don't I use that little piece? Maybe I'll just use that little piece. Trying to think of the word. So I'm just going to sort of piece these things together, incorporating fabric, some papers, And I'm just using any paper too. Doesn't actually have to be. I just found by accident, looking through my scrap bin, I actually found a pile that had some papers and things that I may want to incorporate into this. I might use a little piece of that. I just want to drag some of these out. This is, well, actually it's another, I'm going to pull some of this stuff out here because I think I might use some of it. This is one of Rachel's kits, actually. I didn't even realize that. It is her Pink Ephemeras paper kit. Somehow this file ended up in my scrap bin. Must have been when I was in a big hurry to clean up. I don't know. I don't know if this pink might be a bit much, but this might. Why not, right? I'm still trying to think of the name for this style. It's, what do I do with my ruler? It'll come to me. Ooh, that might be nice to use too. All kinds of little nice pieces on here I can use. Glad I stumbled across this. I think I will use a piece of this. Yeah. So another nice spring day. Down at the bottom. Yeah, I think I will. Where's my blue book? I had all this out because I have been a busy little beaver today, crafting along, and I was like, oh, I really need to do a video. Didn't have anything in mind. I didn't want to do my tag yet for hashtag 52 tags because I haven't given that any thought at all. And I still have my Marguerite Miller collage planner to do this week too. Don't want to use those scissors. Those are for fabric. You can see glue remnants. Speaking of glue, finally remembered to have my husband order my glitter glue. Did that last night and it was showing delivery for today. So I'll let you know if that is even remotely possible. The only way I would think that it would be is I know that Amazon, I'm pretty sure they now have like a distribution warehouse in Massachusetts. So it would have to come from there if it's going to be delivered today. I really like that together. Let's see what else I might want. What there was. I might add some words. Do I want words? Maybe not. I don't know if this is going to be. Might be too big now. Put this aside. Let's see what else we got here. Really, it doesn't matter. Let's see. I think it all looks good once it's on anyway. Let's see, I want this to be that on. I just about have the whole inside of the little journal decorated now with, you know, as far as what pockets and tucks and that type of thing I'm doing. So I'm excited about that. So then I start giving some thought to like tags and that type of thing, start working on some things, and here I am. I don't really want to fold that around. I'm trying to keep some of the thickness down. And especially since this is going to be glued onto cardstock and stitched on and that type of thing. So what do I want up here? Up here can just be something sort of. Is that too plain? Too similar. Maybe a little piece of this. I've also been, I know in yesterday's video I mentioned an idea I had, and that I needed to give it more thought of how it would work. But I will be ready, I would think by tomorrow, put out a little short video to see if anybody would be interested in partaking. That turned out really pretty. I'm really happy with that one. I don't have any lace on there, but I think that's okay. I'm going to do a couple of these. And then, let's see. I'm going to try to incorporate some of this fabric somewhere. Somehow. I'm working on my little, what I'm referring to as my garden journal. Stitching on in at night. Well, the TV is blaring. Let's see. Let's dig through some of this stuff. I'm going to go ahead and use some of this. Don't know what it's going to look like until you do it. Wonder. I don't know how that goes. Maybe I'll put that up there. And over there. I thought about just taking book page and doing like a, you know, a, what do you call it? Oh, I have no words today. Masterboard, but then I was sort of concerned about doing that. Just because of some of the, using fabric and paper. I didn't get that all the way over to the edge. I actually got all prepared today. I was going to go to Joann's and Hobby Lobby. And I had just received a new coupon book from Joann, advertisement with the coupons in it. And then I started looking through and I was like, some of the things I need to pick up are included in the sale that starts tomorrow. So I kept debating, do I go, and then go back tomorrow for those items or whatever. And then I just kept crafting along. And then I decided after I looked at the coupons, really, I was like, you know what, makes more sense because I'll save a lot more money if I wait until tomorrow. Well, potentially save more money. Grab some of this lace that was used in this piece. Well, maybe I'm not ready for that yet. Let me finish filling this up. What do I want down here? What do I want? The $1,000,000 question. I feel like this is all sort of... How about some music paper? Sort of keep these a little bit straight. So, just a little while ago, I took my dog out to go to the potty, and we bought this gate because outside our getting into our backyard, when you come out the back door, you have 3 steps you go up, and when you come in, of course, you go down those 3 steps. Well, the dog's not supposed to be doing any kind of steps up or down because of her surgery. And so anyway, I had the gate shut, and it's our garbage pickup day. And the garbage truck, she's never been scared of the garbage truck. Garbage truck was on the street behind us, and then we live on a court. Well, when he came onto the court, right next to that end of our property, he sat and, oh, I like that, I guess crushed or whatever they do, you know what I mean? And so it was loud, but nothing that she's not used to hearing. She got right underneath that gate and down the 3 steps because she was scared of the trash truck. This gate that my husband bought, it's sort of like a mesh type, fabric thing where it hooks on either side, but then it's really easy to unhook and hook, and it just scrolls in. Well, she figured out with the trash truck that there's just enough gap underneath that fence that she got, I mean, it happened so fast, it terrified me. So I had to call my husband and tell him that. Ooh, that looks sort of pretty up there. I think that's what I'm going to do. And I'm just using glue stick because I'm going to do some stitching on these. I can't remember the name of this. A lot of times you just take this to the sewing machine and you do the zigzag stitch around all these little shapes and what have you. But I'm going to do by hand like some little cross stitching or, you know, stitches like that. And then maybe stitch around the perimeter of them once I'm all done. But anyway, I called my husband because actually we just had a second one of those gates delivered today because we thought for downstairs, when we're down there, we could, we had this old gate, like a child's gate or whatever, but it was very cumbersome and a pain, quite honestly, to use. So with the ease of how this one worked, we were like, let's get one for downstairs too, because then we don't have to worry, you know what I mean? She won't be coming up the stairs. So that just delivered. In the meantime, she's climbing under it. She's perfectly fine. You know, she didn't hurt herself, but it's something that she's not allowed to ever do stairs again because it will definitely create further injury to her back. It's one of those things with dash hounds. And it's so strange. There's a lady that my husband works with, and she has a dachshund puppy, a mini dachshund. Looks exactly like our dog did when she was a puppy. But anyway, Bill had, you know, everybody at his work knew all about what we've been through with Mo, and so Bill was telling him about this gate, how excellent this gate works, and it really does. We have a deck that you have to go upstairs to get to, a whole flight, and that might be the gate that delivered, because Bill was going to get two, one for that gate or that set of stairs, and one for our stairs inside the house down at the bottom. But anyway, she was just telling Bill that she ordered a gate. Not a gate. I'm sorry. I'm on two different stories here. She ordered a playpen. We bought two playpens for this dog since all this happened, but my husband ended up seeing these other playpens, and they're specifically for dogs, and we just thought it would be easier so that if I'm crafting or whatever, it's very easy to pick up, bring in, you know what I mean, type thing. So she was just telling Bill yesterday she ordered that same playpen for their puppy because the puppy's like very rambunctious, and they really are. But it's terrifying them because the dog is jumping up on furniture and down, and you know what I mean, doing all the things that, quite honestly, dachshunds are not supposed to do. And so she was just sharing that with him yesterday. And then yesterday afternoon, her son called that the dog was up on the bed, jumped down. Long story short, the little thing broke its leg. Broke its leg. She sent pictures to us last night, this little puppy in a cast. So I don't know what the long term is going to be for that little thing. Makes me feel really bad. Makes me feel very sad. And you know, like Bill said, we really pushed our luck because we knew way back when that we were not supposed to allow her to do the things that she was doing. But because she could, we thought it was okay, you know? And here we are contributing to now the situation we're in. Trying to decide what I want to use here. Well, I just used the paper for that. I might use this. I might use a little bit of this. Yeah, I think I will. But that was very sad to hear yesterday about her little puppy, because they had another dachshund that was only like 5 or 6, and it died very unexpectedly this past summer. And they went maybe a month or so and decided they were getting another one. So they've only had this puppy a few months, quite honestly, and it's very sad. Alright, so I'm going to try to stitch one of these just to give you an idea of what it is I'm going to do. Maybe I'll do this one. This one seems to be one of the easiest. Well, not that any of them are hard, but I'm just going to stitch by hand. And then I will probably go around these, the perimeter, once the tag itself is made. So I am just stitching right through. Didn't tie that, so I want to make sure it doesn't come through. I didn't tie it because it's going to be glued down, or put a knot in it rather. But anyway, that's the dilemma of the dachshund stories. Oh, she knew, my dog knew. I was so upset with her. She really knows when Mommy gets angry. Upset with her. And it really bothers her too. So I called my husband, told him, and he can lower it a little bit, but I don't know now with that fabric, even if he does that, if now that she knows she can get under it, if she'll be able, I don't know. Have to see. So I'm going along this seam, but I would just randomly add some stitching. I think the timer just went off. So I'm going to turn you off and right back on. Okay. I'm going to hurry up and get this tag done. Can't remember what I was talking about. I'm sure it wasn't important. Sort of funny. I could not remember what day of the week it was. And the way that I remembered was by the meals that we've eaten. I was like, let's see, Monday we had this. Tuesday we had, okay, it's Wednesday. Weirdest thing. But sometimes it just seems like the days all run together for me. Since I haven't been working, it's like, I usually know, well, I always know Thursday normally because I know I go have an art class. But, and of course the weekend, but like during the week, I really do lose track of, is it Tuesday? Is it Wednesday? What day is it? You could add a whole lot more to these. I'm making them sort of basic, I guess. But I think the hand stitching on them adds a lot. And I sort of felt like for that journal, with the cover and everything, it just sort of went with it. So that's why I chose to do more hand stitching. Oh, the thread just came out. This is going to be difficult. I knew it was getting very short, but because I didn't have to knot it on the back, I thought I could push my luck here and come on. I just need you to go down through. Oh, you know what happened? There we go. All right. So then after that, I have my file folder that I cut down. I'm just going to glue this onto that. I think it'd be easier to glue this. Gonna have to cut that down a little bit. I didn't get that on the card exactly right. This one I'm gonna have to, well, maybe after I stitch it too, you won't be able to see that. We'll see. Alright, so then the next thing I'm going to do is just cut my corner. Let's see. See what I did here. And then I'm going to turn you off, stitch around this, and then I'll be right back. Hello everybody, I'm back. And you know, I had a thought after I had almost completed the second one. I should have just kept the video going. I could have sort of fast forwarded, but you could have seen me stitch if that's something you would have liked to have seen. So the one thing on this one, this is the one you watched me stitch. Then I sewed around the edge, but I had forgotten to back it. Since it's on file folder, I just added a little bit of ink, and I think it's fine. But on the back of these, I did back them. and then stitched around them. I just haven't put any topper yet. I don't know what I want to do yet, and I was playing around with different things, and it's, believe me, a couple hours later than when we started this. So I wanted to move on because I wanted to share this other idea with you. It's not my idea. It's an idea I saw on YouTube, and I thought it was fabulous, so I wanted to give it a try. So I thought I'd bring you guys along with me. But I'm real pleased with the way these came out. This one I ended up adding a piece of lace down the middle and a button. I just felt like after I started, I felt like it needed one more thing, but I think that's the only thing I changed. On this one, I did a few French knots, did a lot of straight stitching. This one, I did some cross stitch, plus I straight stitched the lace on here, did some straight stitching down on the bottoms of these, and the cross stitch. So I'm real pleased with the way they came out. I think they came out real pretty, real cute. So that's the tags. Now the next thing that I wanted to do, and I wish I could remember who it was. I saw a video in the last week or so, and I'm going to try to find that video so I can link it. But they had made out of pattern paper little envelopes, and what they did, and I was just playing with this piece, they take 6 pieces, and they don't have to be cut exactly the same size. They, you know, you can have ragged edges or whatever, but I was just doing this to make sure I had enough, because I have this piece and this piece left. I'm going to have to pick up some pattern paper from the thrift store, but I'm going to fold this so that I have 6 pieces here, and then I'm going to cut it. What do I got? 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And I know I want mine to be roughly 10 inches by about, well, I'm going to stitch it too. Yeah, by about 3.5, I guess. Just, I want to try to make one of these small enough that will go in that journal. So that's why I'm using that as my guide. So how do I want to do this? I guess I will just, don't want that. Use these. And I want them roughly 10 inches. I measured from this edge here. And I want it roughly 3.5 inches wide. So it's somewhere in here. Right? About here. And this is going to be a trick. Let's see. I don't know if I can use this. It's my guide. Well, I can use my go all the way. It did. What do you know? Sometimes this thing works, sometimes it doesn't. So I'm going to move this aside. And then, let's see, how did I do? Oh, I didn't get the edges cut. Got to make sure all my, yeah, that is. I'm going to have to cut this edge because I think it must just be this one piece here. that's attached from where I rolled. Might be all of them, now that I think about it. Yeah, it is going to be all of them. So I'm going to do this. One. These need cut. These two are fine. So I'm just going to go like this. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I'm sure you could use more or less, whatever you want to do. So then, I'm going to put that in the center, maybe that on the outside. I'm just trying to determine what I don't think it really matters. So then, she took, oh, let me turn my timer on. I have tissue paper. I have this fabric that I printed from the paper. I printed it on linen. I grabbed another sheet of fabric just in case. This tissue paper as well. Lace. And this is why I'm telling you this. If you, oh, and that had to be this piece. Put this in here. And I think, no, at first I thought I was going to use that fabric. I sort of like the idea of this tissue paper because I think it will soften it some, and it does. I'm going to start with this tissue paper. But you can put a piece of tissue paper in. You can do it like midway. Like, well, that way you don't see any. I think I would do it on my, I would do it just under there, under that first layer. The same with this. I want to see. Yeah, you could do a couple layers on that and still see. I think I sort of like it under just one, just so you can see it. The same with this tissue paper. I brought this lace over just to give you an example. Put lace in there. The lace shows through, which that's very nice too. I think I want to start though. It's the first time I'm doing one of these. I think I want to start with this tissue paper. So I'm going to cut my tissue paper. Roughly. We can trim this all up. I guess it didn't have to be exact on those either, because we can trim them up after we stitch it. Need a bigger pair of scissors. Not prepared. I am going to cut this down a little bit. That's fine. So she took 6 layers. this in. And then I'm going to fold. I wonder how that would look with two. Let's do 2 pieces of this and see what it looks like. Yeah, I think it'll be fine. I'm going to put 2 and see how that comes out. Then you fold this up to however roughly how tall you want your little envelope to be. This is sort of fiddly. Sort of fiddly. Fold it up to approximately how tall you want it. And then you got your little flap that comes down. I think I'm going to make this a little bit shorter. See how big that makes my flap. That'll be alright because I can have a scraggly edge there. And then you stitch, like I'm going to stitch across the top here and then stitch around the perimeter. You'll have your little envelope or pocket, whatever you want to call it. I guess it's more like an envelope. And then you can add some elements to it to decorate it. Now that I see this, I'm thinking I'm going to put this under the first layer. Now the other thing, she also did one, I think after you stitch it, I think the stitching alone is really going to make it look cute. Add a button or some lace or whatever you want to add to the outside. Be really cute. Might fold this down. You could do it sort of sloppy too, which I think would be pretty cool. Alright, so I'm going to move this tissue because I'm going to have to stitch that. So let's see, what do we want? I want to try I want to try to do one of the long ones. I'm trying to determine here about how big my tissue is going to need to be. So if we yikes. I don't want it that big. That's 2. Oh, wait a second, because I need to make up for I need my, bear with me just a second. I want to grab a sheet of paper. This is usually how, I usually grab a piece of just printer paper to try to figure out like how large I want something. And then I sort of keep it as my little template. Let's see how that's 1. 2.5 would be tall enough, I think. And then we need a how far do I want that to come down? Let's see, first of all, let me get my paper cutter. I'll cut this down because I know I definitely don't want it that long. I'm going to cut this down to about the length I think I want. I think about there. Get rid of this. So I don't think I want it that deep either. I think I want it to be a little bit smaller. There. Let me just cut this off and see how this looks roughly. Should have done this. And I didn't. Is that too small? Might be a little bit too small. Maybe just a little bit taller. So that's about 2 3/4. So, and then I would want that longer. Let me just fold this here so I can see where I am. So that's like 5. No, that's 6. 6. That'll be about I'm going to make it about 8 inches long. I can always cut it down. This way. I just thoroughly confused myself. Let's see. 15 would be 23. Wider. So I'm just getting my, what am I doing? What am I doing? How would I do that? 8, yeah. 8 inches. Okay, so that's 2. And then, how wide do I want it? That was the other part. Not it. Uh-oh. Not gonna be. Let me just fold this in half. I'm making a mess out of this, aren't I? I'll try to figure out. Make sure I have more than enough. Alright, so I want it to be about that wide. That's 2, that's 4. Let's just cut. 2, 3, 4. I need 2 more pieces. And hopefully I did my confusing math correctly. Get rid of that mess. Alright, so this is what I'm thinking. I'll figure out what I want in here. But then I want my envelope. That might be a little bit too... Is that gonna... We're gonna need that one inside. Some of the shorter ones I'll just stick inside there. Let's figure out what we want inside this one. What did we put in that? I want to put some fabric. So maybe I will use this piece here. I just want to see. It shows through, but I like to see more of it. I like to see it a little bit brighter. I like that it dulls it down, but I like to be able to see the fabric too. So that piece is a little bit jagged. I want to get a fuller piece. And then what we're going to do with this one is we're going to fold it up like a regular envelope. Stitch here. Stitch around the whole thing. That will make this into, and you know, I sort of like, I'm going to cut this down a little bit, I think. My fabric is what I'm talking about. So that that's a little bit neater on the edges there. I don't want all that hanging out. Try to get this even. Make this a little bit narrower. Not a whole lot, but there we go. That's going to be better. So you get the drift. What I'm going to do, after I straighten this all out, I'm going to turn you off. I'm going to do exactly what I said. I'm going to stitch across here, around the edges. And turn this into an envelope. So I'll be right back so you don't have to see me make a complete idiot of myself any longer. Okay, I'll be right back. Hello, I'm back. Alright, so I stitched these, and I'll tell you what makes this much easier is you know, the way I had the fabric before and the paper, but then just stick a pen to hold your end. Like I stuck 1 or 2 in here, so, you know, I could keep this fairly, I mean, it's not even by any means, but to keep it manageable, stitched that, took those pins out, and then folded it where I wanted to, and I stuck a couple pins, 1 on each side, just to sort of keep things where I wanted them to stitch around. But you can see how cute, and the fabric shows through. And on this one, same thing. So you have 1 that way, 1 this way. And then I went ahead and I made a tiny one, and I cut that doily in half, and I used the doily underneath, and you can see the lace through. So I think that's really cute. I doubled this over because I wanted the edge of the lace to hang down there at the opening and on here. I mean, you could stitch, I mean, I wouldn't use this button, but you could add a button, whatever. These could really be decorated up really cute. Like, I was looking at some of the lace scraps I have around here, you know, just to add, maybe not that, but I'd have to play around some. But just adding a little piece of lace and a button, you know, different things, whatever tickles your fancy. These could really be cute. Really like this one because it's small. I don't know, I'm all about the small right now. But this one, I would definitely like, I think that looks really cute. Just haphazardly, I would add that lace, and I would put a couple buttons or a button or a bow or something. But I think they could be really cute, and they're another nice little ephemera element to add into a journal or to send in a happy mail. So, that being said, here is my accomplishments for today's video. Really happy with these. And when I was filming earlier, I could not remember what this was called, and it's Franken. I think everybody probably knew that. But a Franken tag, but I used fabric and papers to do it, and some lace. So I'm real happy with these, and I'm real happy with these. I wish I would have experimented with these so it wouldn't have been so crazy and disorganized. But I've been wanting to make these ever since I saw that little video, and I'm really happy that I did. I love the way they feel, and they can be decorated so cute and add so much to a journal. So anyway, there you are. I'll stop rattling on. I hope that you all have a good day. I'll be back tomorrow, and happy crafting, everyone. Bye.